Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today. My name is Amy. I'm going to be the moderator. I'm just going to take a few moments to get started while we have our guests filtering into the room. And I just want to make sure everyone can see my screen okay and that my voice is coming through at a proper volume. If that's the case for you, please go ahead and type in the chat box on the side that you can hear the volume is okay, and you should see a picture of our two hosts that we'll have on the call. Perfect. Okay, we've got some responses coming in. Great. Thank you, you guys. Okay, so as you may have already noticed, we are going to be doing our call this month on retarget marketing. And our agenda for today is going to start with what is retarget marketing? Okay. After that, we're going to get into the 7 traffic targeting methodologies. Okay, we'll dig a little deeper into what that means. We want to talk about why you would want to use retargeting. And we'll also show you some of the tracking and testing that goes along with this particular topic as well. Okay, so let me go ahead and introduce our first guest, Mike Kowalski. Are you on the call with us today?
I am, Amy. How are you doing today?
Perfect. Great. Thank you. How are you?
Doing wonderful, but very, very hot outside. It's very hot and humid weather, but I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying it.
We can't complain about the heat when we complain about the cold, right?
Right, right. Anyways, we have a good topic today. We had a bunch of feedback from other calls saying that they want to, a lot of our clients want to understand the remarketing or retargeting part of advertising and traffic. So we put this call together, and I'm happy to tell you that we have Rick Brash on the line as well. Rick, are you there?
Hi, Mike. I'm good. Hi, Amy.
Hi, Rick.
How are you guys?
We're doing wonderful.
Good. Retargeting is a very good subject, Mike. I get a lot of questions about this for the simple reason that over the past 6-8 months, we've talked about the fact that retargeting is done online by some of the most successful online marketers in the world. Companies like eBay, sites like Facebook, Amazon, the big sites like Walmart.com. They all use retargeting to bring people back to them who visited once already and didn't do anything. So this is going to be a really good webinar. Thanks for inviting me on, Mike.
No problem. You know, we, as you know, being on calls with Craig Proctor, you know, we have systems in place with Craig Proctor teaching our clients to drive traffic both on and offline to our websites, but we really never got into, okay, what do you do with the traffic that doesn't convert into a lead?
Well,
what do we do with all that?
Generating traffic from the marketing that we create, you know, when we teach agents to do it correctly, is not the most difficult thing in the world. Right. Generating leads is actually not that hard. You know, you need to understand the local market. You need to have a real relevant ad that talks to the local market, and you need to know what the trends are locally so you can tap into them with your marketing. You know, once that's working, leads come to you. It's not that difficult. But like you said, Mike, not all the traffic that comes into your landing page as a result of your marketing turns into a lead. In fact, a higher percentage comes in, has a look at what the landing page says, and then leaves again. So the purpose of today's webinar, as I understand it, is what can we do with those people who are leaving that would enable us to try and retarget them and bring them back, either to the same landing page or to another one, so we can, in essence, have a second kick at that, at generating that lead cat. And that's really what we want to do. So
yeah, and absolutely, Rick.
Cool stuff.
Through some of the tests and results we've done, we know, but 98% of all traffic to a lot of the websites, they go elsewhere. They do nothing. They don't buy. They don't opt in. And there's a number of reasons why that may be. You know, they're not ready. They're confused. Too many options. Whatever that option may be, you just know that if you have a good retargeting plan in place where the message is consistent, congruent, and the right message to market, we know 29% of that traffic will come back to a landing page or a web page that's more targeted to that lead, and we'll get into that more depth. But let's ask the question. I mean, number one question of a lot of agents ask: what does every real estate agent in the world want, Rick? Now, before we answer that question, let's put it up to the guests on the line. Just type in the chat box there the answer to that. We get any answers, Amy, Rick?
Yeah, we're getting some.
You bet. Yep. They're close.
All right, Rick.
So we must have some well-trained agents on, because the majority answer here in the box is leads. Everybody wants good leads. So someone said here good quality leads. Somebody said fast turnover leads. So you're right, leads. Everybody wants a high profit, easy to work with, come list me, or a quick buy lead that we can create from our marketing. That's the thing that seems to be what everybody wants.
Good. Can you flip the screen? Thank you. Yeah, there you go. Profit producing buyer seller lead. That's ultimately what we're looking for. Not just any leads, but leads that are going to make us money. Return on investment. Quality leads. All right. Well, let's get right into it, Rick.
Okay, next slide, Amy.
All right. So how do we do that? We do that through retargeting and real-time bidding, which for today's call, we're really not going to get into RTB, but you can grow your business delivering data-targeted traffic for your real estate business anywhere. And for today's call, we're just going to get a lot more into retargeting, but I wanted to bring up a little bit about RTB and what that is. We will have another call on it and get more into the depth and how you can make money on the strategies of RTB.
So I think as we go through this, Mike, I think we should establish a benchmark here. Now, there's a little bit of technical stuff here, and for those of you on the webinar today who are maybe still a little bit intimidated by some of this technical stuff that goes on online, like me, for example, I'm very intimidated by the technical stuff. Stay the course with us, because this will ultimately make sense as to what we're talking about. And by the way, this isn't something that Mike has invented. This isn't something Mike came up with and thought he would just throw out there for agents to try. This goes on absolutely everywhere online. And there's a good example. So let's say today you've surfed up onto eBay because you're looking for something. You're looking for whatever, parts for your motorcycle or a new pair of ski boots or whatever. And you search through all the listings for what it is you want on eBay, but you don't buy anything. The day carries on, you leave eBay behind, you get back to work, and about 3 o'clock this afternoon, you go up onto Facebook and you check your news feed to see what's going on. You're scrolling through, you're looking at your friends, and all of a sudden, down the right-hand side on your Facebook page, boom, there's an ad for ski boots. There's an ad for something that you looked at this morning on eBay. Well, that is called retargeting. And the fact that you went to eBay and didn't buy anything and left eBay, guess what happened? You left with a tracking cookie. And that tracking cookie now is telling the computer when to put the ads up for you to be retargeted to. Okay, that's what this is all about today. Now, in our business as realtors, let's look at that practically. You've got a surfer, or pardon me, you've got a prospect who through his surfing on the internet sees your marketing. He comes to your landing page, but he doesn't do anything. He leaves your landing page, and guess what he takes with him? He takes with him a tracking cookie, or what we call a pixel. And that pixel enables you to remarket to him somewhere further down the line and bring him back either to the same landing page or to another one. Who sees the benefit in remarketing to people that didn't do anything the first time they came? Well, everybody should see the benefit at doing that. So that's what this is all about. As technical as it seems, as much mumbo-jumbo as there might be with respect to technical stuff, that's what we want to give everybody a chance to do. So I hope that makes sense. Mike, sorry to steal your thunder.
Well said. We were going to talk a bit more about that in a couple. That's great, Rick. Good intro into it. Now, let's look at the opportunity then, and if we can flip the screen a few times, Amy, what we want to do is look at the seven actually strategies that we have. You can see them in the boxes there that all lead to your audience being targeted to a specific landing page or campaign page that you have. And for this call, we're going to really focus on the retargeting and the geo-targeting because they really work hand in hand. When you retarget something, you really want to just retarget it in your own market space. The other targeting strategies, Rick, the contextual targeting, the site targeting, the audience targeting, the search targeting, they're all types of targeting that we use and we use through our list data providers, and that's where RTB comes in. So we'll talk about that on another call, but we just wanted to lay out that there is more than one method or strategy to drive quality now like traffic to your site using all these data providers. So let's get into the retargeting more. Into the next screen, please, Amy. So let's talk about the data first, Rick. There's two types of data. There's the first-party data, and then there's third-party data. Okay. So the first-party data is basically data that traffic is driven by you. This is data that your website is generating through your marketing that we teach through the Craig Proctor program, both on and offline. That's what first-party data is. It's all the data or all the traffic that comes to your websites from that source.
We generate it through marketing, right? Right.
Now, the third-party data is data that we, as I mentioned earlier, is driven by data aggregators that we have, and we are accessed with BlueKai, which is one of the largest data providers in the world through Acxiom, which is owned by Oracle now, and that is more paid data through your marketing, and we'll get into a little bit about that, but that's the difference between first-party and third-party data. And if we can get to the next screen, Amy. Okay, some of the advertising source, and maybe Rick, you can go through some of this stuff. You're quite familiar with training and coaching your members on these.
Well, here's what we teach our members to use to generate leads by. So the big one for today's discussion is pay-per-click and SEO. We really want to get as much traffic from our advertising piece to our landing pages. Now they all work because we can add a direct response internet component to any ad, to any media that we use to advertise and generate our leads with. So there's pay-per-click, there's search engine optimization, SEO, online classified ads like Craigslist, Kijiji, Backpage, all those ones. Sign writers, you can easily create traffic from a sign writer to a landing page just by putting on a very benefit-rich domain name. Direct mail, TV, newspaper, radio, on and on it goes. There's lots of media streams that we can use in our day-to-day efforts at generating leads. That's a given. There's no shortage of media that we should be using. Remember, what we teach our members is that one ad in one media stream, whether it's online or offline a day, is not really enough to float your business. Craig taught all of us that a multi-layered approach, a multimedia stream approach to lead generation is the answer. Don't put all your eggs in one basket. Let's get 3 or 4 media streams with a half a dozen ads across them working to generate leads day in and day out. That's what we want to do.
So we have some in the next couple of screens, Rick. We have samples, actual samples of first-party data, some online, some offline. You can see some of the screen pages that may look familiar, landing pages. There's Craig's mastermind marketing, sign writers for some buyers. These are all types of advertising that we do for first-party data, and this is the offline part.
Yeah, everything's there. Yep.
So we had here. Okay, just to summarize, Rick, and I'll let you go through this. This is really a kind of dumbed-down version of what retargeting and how it works. Go ahead.
Okay, so as I mentioned earlier, we create traffic to a landing page, all right? Free list of distressed category properties, free over-the-net home evaluation. Pick a campaign that drives a prospect to a landing page to get that offer fulfilled, okay? So they surf in, they visit their site, and when they arrive, this is the good part, when they arrive, we can place a tracking cookie or a pixel onto their computer. And when they're done with our landing page, they leave with that tracking cookie on their computer if they haven't done anything. Okay, now, as they surf around the internet, we now have an idea as to what's relevant to them, and we can make sure that when they're in a position to see an ad somewhere else, and by the way, the internet is proliferated with advertising, that one of our ads, one of our ads that we've created pops up in that place where they see ads. It might be a banner ad. It might be a newsfeed ad on Facebook. Wherever there's a possibility for an ad, the retargeting system places my ad where they will see it. Okay? So then they click on that ad, they're brought back into my system, probably to a different landing page than the one they were at before, and I have a chance to remarket the same message to that prospect. And guess what I had to do? Nothing. All I had to do was make sure that my initial website in number 1 there, where they visited, had the ability to insert the pixel, the tracking code pixel, in their computer, so all this could take place. Okay? So this is the whole grok on remarketing. Making sure that surfers who don't do anything when they come take the pixel with them, and we get a second or a third opportunity to bring them back again and do business with them a second or a third time.
And Rick, just to add, there's a lot of reasons why visitors who come to your site through your marketing activities do nothing or don't opt in. Maybe it's the wrong message that we send them. Maybe it's too many options. Maybe they're just not ready. Maybe they're curious. But I do know by turning this on, which is not a whole lot of work, at least now you understand the experience of that lead. You understand the flow of where they're going. So we can create a campaign that when they're ready, is congruent, consistent to what they're looking for, back to another landing page. Like I said, we found that at least 29% of all traffic will come back to your page with a proper message or a banner back to the landing page. So this screenshot really summarizes what retargeting is, how it works, and we'll get into some of the benefits of it as well. Next screen, Amy.
That's a good screen, by the way, Mike.
It is. I think all we really need is one screen to really articulate what retargeting is.
Yeah.
So what is retargeting? Why would you use it? So, okay, it makes every other traffic source more powerful, Rick. So it really does complement all your marketing activities, as we talked about. So, you know, before retargeting, really you had no immediate recourse to get started. You have to rebuild that traffic back. Now you have the opportunity, that 98% that didn't do anything, to kind of target them back to your site. Number 2, you own and control visitor traffic. So basically every pixel or every tracking code that is placed on your site once it's turned on is yours. So you control that. You can set that campaign up right away. You can schedule it to go out another week, another month, and have a plan. So basically, it's like every IP of a computer, there's interest, and you can control and run a campaign as well. Number 3, it's cheaper, the cost per click after the first visit, because you now have taken that, you generated that lead through other marketing sources. That cost per click to get them back to the site is much cheaper than the first visit.
Right. I like that part.
Yeah, it's always good. Yeah, you've already generated the lead. Now let's reuse that lead to what they really want. And it really is on pennies on the dollar. We'll get into that in a second. It builds trust, familiarity through repetition. So the more and more you show your brand or your USP out to your community, the more they're familiar with you, your marketing, and your unique selling proposition. again, we bring past visitors back to different points in the conversion funnel. What that means is, instead of driving them back to your homepage with all kinds of options, we can now set them back to a certain page, a certain USP, a certain campaign, which through reports we know what they're really looking for, and really they only have one thing, one thought, one thing to do, and that is to understand your content on that page and hopefully get them to leave a trail, leave their contact information, which is the whole point of having a landing page.
Right. I just want, if I can get people to come back to my landing page or come back to a landing page that I work with to generate leads and get them to do it repeatedly over and over and over again so that I can have a continual try to create a lead with that person, I think that's pretty good business. So for me, the big one here is number 5. People who didn't opt in or turn themselves into a lead leave. They take my cookie with them. Now I've got a chance to get them back. I just like that. So it sounds to me like, Mike, with all this going on, I've now got this secondary system working online with all these people who visited my site who are now going to see a banner, who are now going to see another ad that brings them back into my system to turn me into a viable provider of information. And I really like the idea of this. And number 2 there, the fact that I know who they are, I can control what they see, I can control how the whole system works. I like that even more, especially if you're a little bit of a control freak.
And the affordable branding, and this company that spend millions on branding, Rick, it really is an affordable solution, good return on investment for the amount of money you're spending to get your USP or what you do well to your community, to your marketplace, and we're talking thousands and thousands of impressions of
I mean, let's face it. There's a right way and a wrong way to brand ourselves as realtors, as we know from listening to Craig and Todd and the rest of the coaching team. If you really want to grow your brand, you do it with your USP. Absolutely. So if USP marketing is something you're really interested in doing, a branded approach in conjunction with your branded website, then this is a great way to silently and very subtly and very stealthily get your USP out there onto computers, highlighting what you do, highlighting that message, and bringing them back over and over and over again. So this is real powerful stuff. And as I said at the outset, this is not new. This is what the big boys that market online, and I'm talking the big guys, Walmart, Walgreens, CSV, American Airlines, eBay, this is what the big boys have been doing for years. And of course, that's what's helped their online presences grow to the point where they are today.
Absolutely, Rick.
Amazon has used this for years and years and years, very quietly, very silently in the background. This is what Amazon has done. So if we can do it, Mike, and even get a percentage of what they do to bring traffic back for a second opportunity for a sale, I'm very interested.
Yeah, absolutely. Just to add to your point is that for years these large companies, what were remarketing or using RTB because they could, and it cost lots of money to get this done. Now with the speed of the internet and how fastly and quickly it is, we can now bid. We got proprietary software that we invested over a year ago, where we can now bid on displaying these ads in milliseconds to the marketplace. So there's a whole strategy behind this software, Rick. There's a whole marketing plan. And it can get really, really custom once you know where it's going.
Right.
But now that the technology is so fast and everything's done in milliseconds, where this is going right now, it's web-based banners, and now it's gone to video. So now you could display these on video, and the next would be the smart televisions. Imagine sitting in your household with your family watching TV, Rick.
Yep.
And seeing an ad that's relevant to what you've been looking for. Maybe it's looking for a mortgage. Maybe it's looking to sell your home. Maybe it's buying tires or Michelin tires for your car on your. So that's how deep you can go. And it is kind of scary that what everyone's doing online nowadays. Everything's trackable. Everything's measurable. But the good thing is that at least you're delivering messages to the consumer what they're looking for.
Right.
That's the good part about it.
Yep.
So if you need any other type of advertising, I mean, if you're doing all kinds of marketing and you're driving traffic, you need to be retargeting for what the cost is, and we'll get into that in a second. So let's get into the second box, or the second phase of the marketing methodologies. Before we do that, I just want to see if everyone's understanding what we're talking about. If you do, if you're confused, or just say yes, everything's cool in the chat box. Have we lost you, or do you understand what we're talking about? Sometimes, Rick, we get on and on and on.
Well, this is just a little, as I was saying at the outset, this is just a little bit more technical than what we normally do. So this is beyond hotlines, and this is beyond just having the website standing there. This is really getting the internet working on your behalf.
Well, I think the important is the benefits, Rick. Forget about how it works, how the pixels work, and the benefits we talked about early, a couple of slides before, and thinking of all the money you spend driving traffic and the 98% not doing anything for whatever reason, and getting 29 or 30% of that traffic back to a specific page. That alone, to me, I'm in, right? And then the fact that you kind of own and control all the pixels that have landed on these pages, so every visitor that you generated, you have a plan for on a remarketing basis. You know, and for new people that just set up their website or don't have a whole lot of traffic, you know, I would highly recommend that you get this turned on so that every bit of traffic or every visitor that comes on your site is now being tracked, coded.
Hey, Mike, let me just highlight one more example just to sort of drive this point home. I noticed on my car that the seal for my sunroof is a little dried and a little bit cracked. So 2 days ago, I went online to eBay, actually, looking to buy a new seal for my sunroof. And I found 4 or 5. I just haven't ordered one yet. Last night before I went to bed, I jumped up on Facebook just to see what was going on with the British Open. I'm a huge golf fanatic, as some of you know. And while I was on there, guess what got flashed into my news feed from Amazon? Amazon is a retailer online, and they flashed an ad that said, sunroof liners on sale tonight. Isn't that interesting? So that's how this works, and it works that good. And I just want to make sure everybody gets that. Okay, that's really important that we get the way it works.
Again, it's good that you know there is interest, and you know you're looking for something, and for you to provide or someone to provide a solution to a problem or give you more information on your buying decision, to me, right at that time, is a good thing to do.
I agree.
Now, geo-targeting is another strategy. It really works in hand with the third-party data and all the other strategies we talked about with RTB, but also in remarketing as well. So you can narrow down to city, state, zip code. There's 241 countries we provide for, 40 languages. So you can really narrow down who you want or where you want to display these ads to. So you can really narrow down, and as you get good at this, you want to just narrow down a certain community or region of your marketplace, you can do that. We have the ability to geo-target it. You want to add anything to that, Rick?
No, but I think that just allows us to spend wisely is what that does.
Here are some samples we did with Craig. We helped them promote a lot of the half-day events last year, and we're still doing it this year. We've generated some of these banner ads, and again, there you can see there's a lot of direct marketing. There's a lot of agitating the solution and a call to action using a website, and you can see these work really well in getting realtors to go to his page to sign up for the half-day events. Here's some of the realtor banners that we've created over time. There's all kinds of different ones: luxury, moving up. There's first-time home sellers. You know, we provide custom banners for certain campaigns. So even if we don't have the ones that you're looking for, we can build a custom one. And these are the banner ads that we will work to get displayed on websites in your marketplace.
All right. So this is really where everybody should be paying attention. When the retargeting takes place, this is the banner ad that Mike will make sure is placed out there for your prospect to see that has the tracking code built in. And what happens is, just like any other online ad, the click happens on this particular banner, which is a hot link, and it takes them to the landing page that you set up. So this is the purpose of the retargeting, is to place this ad on the screen of the prospect, generate the click, drive the traffic from the ad right to the landing page, and that's what we teach you. We teach agents the purpose of running an ad online is to generate traffic from the ad to the landing page, okay? And our job is to get the highest percentage possible to turn into a lead. Now, for those that leave with the tracking cookie, this is what they see later on in the day or later on in the week somewhere, somehow, when they're online. They see a banner similar to this, click on it, and come back to either that same landing page or one that you set up. So this is what's going on behind the scenes, enabling you to bring that traffic back.
You know, Rick, I find a lot of well, not a lot, but realtors that are trying or testing remarketing right now, they're starting to use it more in other industries as well. I'm doing it in financial planning and insurance, but they understand the benefit of remarketing, but they still they're not doing it correctly. You know, they're not being consistent and congruent with the market to message from the banner ad to the landing page. Because if you tell them to do something in a banner and then they get a whole new different landing page, or they send them back to your home page with about 50 million options, it's not going to work.
Well, I deal with that all the time with our members, and that's what we call a disconnect. We want to make sure that the ad that the prospect sees and the landing page where we drive them work congruently, as you said, Mike. They have to work like putting a hand in a glove. They have to work together. If the message on the landing page is different than the message in the ad, we create confusion. And as we know, the confused mind does nothing. So we work really hard, I should say we, Mike and his team will work really hard so that the banner or the little ad that you're looking at on the page here and the landing page are working in harmony with each other, which in turn creates the click and the fill out of the form, and that's the lead.
Exactly, and this is also a bidding approach or auction approach where we know we try to win the bid of the other advertisers to show your banner ads in your area and hopefully above the fold. What I mean by that is higher up on the website that they're traveling or going to, visiting. All that stuff you don't need to know how it works, but that's what we do behind the scenes when it comes to management. Our job is to get those banner ads in front of your ideal prospects, buyers and sellers in your marketplace inexpensively, and to get those clicks back to your landing page.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, so there we have 4 different sizes. So there's different sizes of banner ads that we have there, and we can track and measure the difference between all of them. Let's get. I wanted to show this. I don't. This is kind of an industry average as far as conversion, banner impressions for retargeting. So we take $100, we divide it by 20 cents. 20 cents is about what the averages are spending on CPM. CPMs is thousands of impressions, so showing your banner ad 1,000 times. So if we take $100 and we divide it by 20 cents, we get 500 CPMs or 500,000 impressions of your banner ad. Okay, so if we took the 500 and multiplied it by 1,000, there's your 500K. So that's what you can expect to get. I just want to, again, this is just a standard. I'm not saying you'll get more or less. I mean, it changes for the different areas, different states. This is kind of an average of what to expect. Now, if you took those 500K impressions of the banner ad, let's look at, Rick, I think 1% would be a good a standard, to me, it's around 1%, give or take,
Sure.
of people clicking, the click-through rate, we call it, CTR, of that banner ad. So if you do the math of 500,000 banner impressions at a 1% click-through rate, so these are people clicking on your banner ad, you can expect to get about 5,000 clicks.
Right.
Okay, and depending on how well your landing page is. I mean, if you look at the cost per click on that, I don't have a calculator. Was it 2 cents, Rick? 2-3 cents?
Yeah. So, I mean, anybody on the call today who has been working with Facebook advertising is aware that one of the choices you get to make when you create and get ready to run your ad is how are you going to display it to your chosen audience, right? You have some choices. You can work with a lifetime budget. You can work with a good old basic cost per click. Every time your ad goes out and gets clicked on in the audience, you pay X amount of dollars. Or you can work with what's called impressions. Okay, now there's probably some confusion in the group right now if you haven't done this, but for every 1,000 impressions that your ad is given, you agree to pay a few cents per 1,000. The example Mike is using here, this is not Facebook, but I think those of you that use the Facebook ad medium can understand what Mike is sharing with you here. Mike is saying that for every 1,000 impressions in the targeting world, budget around 20 cents. That's what Mike is saying here. So it's very effective. It's a very effective and inexpensive way to get your ads out there into the audience that you have chosen, whether it is in a city, in a zip code, in a geo area, or what. Whatever the audience criteria is, you can have your ad splashed out there 1,000 times for 20 cents. And that's very, as I said earlier, very effective in getting your message out there. And by the way, this isn't new stuff. This is not new stuff. This is just Mike introducing you to the regular way the internet works. We're just trying to help you see how to take advantage of what's already proven, what's already been used out there for many, many years. Here's a chance for you to use it now as a realtor.
And that works out about 2 cents a click if you do the math on 5,000 clicks, Rick. And absolutely, this has been around for a bit. A lot of people who use it really don't understand it or don't do it correctly. But the good thing about you guys, most of the people on this call today have marketing scripts and campaigns proven, landing pages, direct response. So all that part is covered as long as you match the right banner ad with the right landing page. And again,
I was just thinking, Mike. One of the challenges that you and I face, if you invite me onto a webinar, Mike, that's been offered to people, real estate agents who are not part of Craig's group. Sometimes the challenge you and I face, Mike, is it's helping agents understand what marketing for leads really is.
Absolutely.
People in Craig's group, of course, have a full understanding of how to do this. They understand the value of the 3M formula. They understand testing. They understand tweaking. They understand always doing that to generate leads. But we go and work with some other groups in real estate who have no understanding of that, and it's a real chore. About this time in this webinar, for people who are not marketing for leads, we hit a wall because this is new stuff to people who've never done this before.
We work in other industries, Rick, as you know, providing this solution, and a lot of them don't belong to a marketing guru or a system. And you're right, it is a challenge because if they don't understand marketing, they don't understand the experience of the prospect and the direct response.
Where this fits in. That's right.
Where this fits in. You can use this all day long, but it won't produce you results. You got to have all the pieces working. You got to have it all working: the lead capture, the click-through, the landing page, the thank you page, the follow-up emails. All have to be consistent. You do it right, and you follow up, you're a winner.
Well, the vast majority of agents on today's webinar have all those things in place. All we're saying today, or all Mike is saying today, is they can take what you've built, what you've done, what you've created, and just enhance it to the next level with absolute minimum involvement with you.
And here's a question I get a lot too, Rick, and I saw a question in the funnel there. where, well, it doesn't, Facebook do this now. Can I just use it on Facebook or Google? And the answer is yes, they do it. But this system or our software works on every web page, every website, okay? Not just Facebook, not just Google. And we actually complement. We actually work with Facebook and Google and all other web pages. So, and you own and control the pixels.
Right.
Where the other larger programs, you don't really even see them. You don't even know where a lot of the traffic is coming from. They hide that from you because that's how the data providers make money. Let's go to the next screen, Amy. Yeah, we also provide transparency reporting. So at any time you can get access to our portal and actually see these numbers. Where these where your prospects are going to, what websites they're clicking from, the cost, the CPM, the clicks, the click-through rate, all that. At any time you can log in and to see where this is all going.
Okay, so another practical example that I'll just throw in here, Mike. For those of you that have worked with me on your Facebook marketing, one of the things I recommend you do every week is what? Log into your ad manager and go into the matrix that is generated for every ad you have running and look at your data to determine whether or not the ad you've created and are running is working effectively. So, knowing that is half the battle. Here's what Mike has created for those using this retargeting system that he's created for real estate agents. Same kind of thing, right? Same thing. In a heartbeat, you can log in and see how well the tracking cookie is working that you've put out there to start working with. You can see it right there in your control panel. So some of you are thinking, well, oh God, more stuff I got to look at. No, we're not saying it's more stuff you have to look at. We're saying it's some information here that will let you become dead accurate with this remarketing. And that's what we want. We want you to become really, really good at this. The only way you're going to know is if you test and track, and continue to look at what you're doing. So here's the data that you're going to create every time you put the cookie out there.
Absolutely. So we get in now to the conversion funnel, which is really just a summary of the flow. Rick, we talked about this in a number of other webinars we've done. This is a little bit different because this is attracting traffic from a remarketing perspective as well as an RTB, which we haven't got into. The RTB is all third-party data, the data providers that we are hooked up with, where now you can really go in and find new traffic back to your site. And those are the other 5 strategies we'll get into on the next webinar we do. Very, very interesting stuff. And it's moving from video now to TVs. And each one of them, you don't need them all, but they work very well. All that traffic is driven to a targeted audience landing page, which we talked about, and then followed up by, email, phone call, outgoing call, whatever way you use to follow up. You want to add the importance of follow-up, Rick?
Well, got a lot of stuff here, a lot of stuff on the screen.
Yeah.
Some of you are probably wondering, where does this all fit in? Look, for those of you that work with Craig's coaching system, there's a couple things we want you to remember. Nothing replaces the phone call. However, let's get you in a position where leads are generated that will enable you to make those phone calls. So for me, if we're going to send emails and all those things, great. Nothing replaces the phone call. So I want to get as many leads to our members' computers as I can so that they in turn can pick up the phone, make that call to the prospect, get into it with the universal callback script, determine timing and motivation, and then move forward from there. That's really what I want to happen here. So there's a bunch of stuff, Mike, that you've got set up. It's probably all good. It's probably all relevant. First and foremost, though, I want to give as many agents as we can the opportunity to make more phone calls.
Perfect. So we're going to get into Q&A in a few minutes. Amy, I'm sure, do we have any questions there coming up? Amy, we lost Amy. Okay.
Sorry, yes, we do.
Anyways,
sorry, I had myself muted. We do have some questions coming up.
Okay. We'll save those. What we're going to do, we're going to give everyone on the call an opportunity to try retargeting. So we got a. Here's what we're going to provide everyone on the call today if they're interested in our retargeting offer. Okay, so Amy, if you could just flip the bullet points on there. So basically, we'll create all the concept, the marketing concept. Not only we'll understand your campaign you run, buyers, sellers, whatever that may be, and make sure that the right message is matched with the banner to the landing page and the follow-up. So we'll create the banner creation. We looked at that earlier. We have a set of 4 of them. They're all different sizes. There's different reasons why we have 4 sizes for different websites for better conversion. We'll install the retargeting pixel. So what we do is, whether it's Success or another website that you may be using, we coordinate with their webmaster and have these pixels or cookies installed in all the pages of your site. And get that coordinated. It doesn't take long at all. We just have an inventory of pages, whether it's your branded or less branded page, it doesn't matter. And then we'll create the campaign and get it launched and provide all the management reporting on a monthly basis for you. So we have 2 packages. We just wanted to keep it simple, and it really is all based on the amount of traffic that you generate. And again, for the people on this call today that don't know how many unique visitors that they have per month on their site, they should. And if they don't, you got to make sure you have Google Analytics hooked up. It's free. There's no charge. And depending on the number of unique visitors that you come to the site, for example, package 1 has anywhere from 100 to 300 unique visitors. And you can expect to get 1,000 to 6,000 display ad views from those visitors if you do it right. And we have package number 2, which if you have been driving traffic for years on your branded or less branded page, and you're getting over 300 to 600, and there's some that do well over 1,000 or 5,000, depends on where you are. We've only got 2 levels here for now, and the display ad views that you could expect to get on package 2 is 1,000 to 12,000. Okay, so the price for package number 1, there is a monthly fee of $49.95. So that will be for creating and maintaining and reporting on all your marketing activity. For package number 2 is $97. Again, it all depends on the amount of traffic that that you're generating your site, and if you don't know, we can help you find that out through your webmaster. So $49.95 a month for package 1, and $97 for package number 2. It's just more traffic, more displays of that banner, and there's one-time activation of $297. Okay, we usually charge $500 for this, but now I've just somebody that popped up for $97. So there you go. So everyone on the call that takes advantage on today's call today, call in before 5 p.m. Eastern, we'll only charge you $97 to set this all up. So it's a lot of work to set up initially on our end, just the campaign creation and the pixels, but for $97, it's really worth the package. Now, to go get it, anyone interested in the call, just go online to www.retargetmyleads.com. If you could type that in on the Amy in the chat section, that would be great, so make it easy for them to click, or you can phone us at 1-800-458-1899 for the people that are just listening by audio, and ask for the retargeting package. That would be great. So again, retargetmyleads.com, or you can call us at 800-458-1899. So Amy, why do we have any questions? Can I open up to the crowd?
We do have some that came through while we were, well, I should say while you and Rick were going through. Let me just pop open the questions here. Okay, so there's a couple of them. First one, Okay, what landing page company do you use, and how do you match the banners with the landing pages?
Well, we can actually work with any landing page provider, any web provider. I mean, a lot of people on the call, they're using Success Pages or other web providers. We can really pixel as long as their webmaster is able. It's very, very easy to do. It's a few seconds of work for them to kind of I'll use a simple paste or copy the code that we provide them into the header of that page, right? So we're really open to any web page as long as the webmaster of your provider is capable of doing that. We work with Success as well and provide this as well, and a number of other landing pages as well.
Okay. And I guess we had already covered this part. I think maybe this question was a little more premature, but just asking about the banner ads and who's producing those. So I think that was answered in the call, but we can certainly just recap.
Yeah, the banner creation is done by us. I mean, we have certain templates for all the buyer and seller campaigns, and we will personalize it down to the realtor and their area. I mean, the rules on the banners. You got to either have a logo or a URL on there to identify that it's a real person sponsoring the ad. But all that creation and a lot of all the ads we already have are proven. But we're always looking to get it better, and all that creation is done by us in-house, and we provide a proof for you to just to approve it. And what I recommend is that you determine what target market you want to go after, whether it's buyers or sellers in your area, and really only start. I would only start with one, okay? But I would take a lot of the, I would provide all these pixels or all these cookies on maybe on your branded page, everything that's coming to your home page, and use those to retarget back to that landing page.
Perfect. Okay, so one of the more technical questions came in from Randy. He just
we'll
wants
give that
to know,
direct.
Uh-oh, Randy might not get an answer. No, basically, he asked, does AMS need access to the website provider source code in order to implement the tracking?
Well, Amy, you're more technical than I am, right?
Yeah, I could probably answer that one. Basically, it depends on who your web provider is, Randy. If it is a Success site, we do have a working relationship with them, and basically we just provide that to them, and they do the implementation for you. So if it's something other than Success, if you know your own access codes and you would prefer to have us do it, we can certainly do that. If you want to do it yourself, or if you have someone who's handy with it, we just provide you with an actual piece of code, I guess, that little cookie for the implementation side of things. So we'll certainly work with whomever we need to in order to get that in place for you. And if you're not too sure who it is we need to work with, we can help dig around and find that person too.
Well, Amy, just to add to that, if I'm not mistaken, Success with the newer versions of the site, I mean, without going in and finding one of their programmers, the users, if they know what they're doing, can put those things in for them as long as we have access to the back end panel, right?
We can. Typically what I would do is just use their support help desk system. Just drop in a quick email and give the name and who we're working with so that they know that there's that working relationship on that. So they're quite familiar with this type of request coming from me.
Okay.
So I think it's probably easier, for me to help get that installed versus, the agent having to go through and do that and maybe explain it, right? So yeah, I mean, we certainly have an easy way of doing that as well.
Well, look, here's the thing. For everybody that wants to get this started, and I imagine everybody on the call today does, you've got a working technical partner who can handle all this on your behalf. So all you have to do is go do what you're good at, make phone calls and sell houses. Call Amy, call the office. He just gave you the number. Tell her what you want to do. Amy will look after it for you. Okay? You don't need to have technical expertise. You don't need to have a red seal and computer technician stuff. You don't need that. You've got an Amy now, and she's going to make sure this works perfectly for you.
Yeah, Rick, all you really need to understand as a real estate agent is that all the hard-earned money you're spending on advertising, both on and offline, to your branded or less branded pages or your landing pages, that you have a second opportunity to convert those leads and leave a trail for you to follow up. We're not generating all new traffic. It's not a new strategy where we're generating traffic. This is traffic you've already generated that didn't do anything.
Yeah, I hope everybody just take that with you from today's webinar. All right, take that with you. Here's a chance to take a second crack at those leads, that web traffic that you generated this morning that didn't do anything when they hit your site. And here's a newsflash in case some of you aren't aware of this, they don't all do something. But they can take with them now this tracking cookie which enables you to try them again over and over and over and over again. That's the most important thing. That's the benefit to coming on today's webinar. Here's an opportunity for you to try these people again and again and again. So this is a great chance for everybody to really up their marketing at absolute minimal cost.
Hey, Rick, it's just like, if I can create an example where you coach and teach people how to generate leads, how to generate contacts and referrals, and now what you're doing is you're building a list of unique visitors that you can control and manage and market. Anyone that goes to your site and without this turned on, you've lost them. They're gone. Right. So you're building equity. You're building a list of visitors that have been to your site. For some reason they found you, whether it's SEO, whether it's pay-per-click, whatever way it took to get there. There is some interest. It may not be now. You may flash another banner 2 months down the road that makes sense to them at that time.
That's right.
And whatever that may be. And it's like anything. You got to build your list. You got to build your list. And for new people that have come on and just started a website or they don't have a whole lot of traffic, I highly recommend you go into the first package, because any money you do spend getting traffic, at least you have the opportunity to remarket that. It's not just gone. And over time, it will, you're building a business there.
That's right.
Amy, any more questions?
Yeah, I have another one. It's just asking, with this particular service, is it a month-to-month or is it a contract that they're looking at?
No, there's no contract. No, you can quit any time. It is a month-to-month service, so you provide a one-time activation. We've got it down to $97 for everyone on the call today if they sign up by the end of today. But there's no contracts. What we'll immediately do is get your pixels installed on your website. Determine what campaign that you decide you want to run. Create the banner ad to that campaign, get it approved, and get it out there in front of your prospects, your buyers, sellers in your geo area.
Yep.
So yeah, there's no long-term contract. You can cancel at any time. Just give us a notice. But I can't see you quitting on this if you see any type of result or any type of visitors coming back to your site.
I think, sorry, Mike, to interrupt, but one of the things that you and I had talked about on our previous calls regarding this as well is that we have a recommended time for how long you should do it, just because the value of a cookie being kept on someone's computer and the nature of the real estate business. Some people may not be ready to buy within the first month or two. You may have someone coming to you, 3-4 months down the road. So I know we had talked about 3 to 6 months for a recommended time, but a not mandatory time frame.
Yeah, absolutely. The longer life of a cookie, the more valuable that cookie is. And we had a screenshot of that, which I don't think we included, which really shows the value of a cookie. The longer it's out there, the more attributes you have on that visitor, the more you know about what that visitor or what that prospect is going to and downloading and reading and searching keywords, what URLs are going to, all that good stuff. The more data you have, the more attributes you have on that cookie, the more valuable it is. What do you think, Rick?
Yeah, I think so. I don't think we can underestimate the value of having, tracking cookies out there working while we're sleeping. And to me, that's where this really stands out. I work hard to generate traffic to my landing pages and, if possible, generate the lead the first time through. But for those people who've left, who've not become a lead at that time, I now have an opportunity with all that web traffic, even the organic traffic that finds me through a search engine or just finds me, I now have an opportunity to somewhere down the road, a day, a week, a month, a year, create a lead from that person who's carrying my code with them wherever they go. And by the way, for some of you are thinking, this code thing, this tracking code thing, this sounds like malicious software. This sounds like we're perpetuating viruses across the internet. Wrong. Absolutely wrong. That's not what this is about. This is simply the way business is done today on the internet. You just take a registration with you when you visit my page. That's all this is. You come in, you silently register, and you take that registration with you. And wherever there's an opportunity for my advertising and your registration to hook up and flash something, that's the way this works. So everybody should be doing this now. This is the new thing for realtors. We can do it just like they do at Amazon or American Airlines or some other big company. We can do it just like they do now.
I see another question, do I need to start my campaign to get this thing activated? Absolutely not. And, I would highly recommend you just turn the pixels on first.
Right.
Have us turn it on because, what you're going to find in the reports that we show, Rick, is really the flow of that prospect. What pages they're going on and where they're staying on of your landing page and what they're really interested in. And really, we can take those pixels from certain pages and launch a campaign.
Sure.
What I mean by that is to launch a campaign to get those banner ads out to your prospect. And this all can be done through day of week, time of day, above the fold, below the fold, all that stuff I'm talking about right now is just details that to customize and get the best results from your campaign.
All you have to do is get the tracking cookie put on your landing page. I
would recommend do that. Yeah, and you don't need to worry about. You don't need to worry about what campaign I'm going to run. How does this work? I would definitely get that put on, no matter what you do. So at least you have pixels or cookies now to target when you're ready. Any other questions? I think we're a few minutes over here.
I think there are a few other ones, but they don't necessarily pertain to the retargeting strategies. They're more for the real-time bidding, which I think would be just a separate one-on-one call, or they can hop onto the call next month for sure and get more details just on the real-time bidding itself.
Yeah, real-time bidding that we talked about. Now we're getting to third-party data. We're actually getting into our data providers that we partner with, where we can really drill down your ideal prospect. Tell us who your ideal prospect is, where they are, and we can drill down in different categories, whether it's in the luxury side, first-time home buyer side, first home, second home, cottage, whatever audience you're looking to target. Now we're drilling down where you're paying a little more to get that traffic. And no one's doing this, by the way, on the small business side or realtor side. This has been done. It's a large business opportunity for a lot of the large Google, Facebook, the big players have been doing this for the past couple of years because they could. And now with the technology where it is now, we're able to provide that to the small business and professionals to really use that data to. And it's all about the ideal prospect, right, Rick? I mean, generating leads is fairly easy in the Craig Proctor system. It really is. I mean, what we're trying to do is provide the best leads for you. We're trying to find the now business for you. People that are downloading reports, downloading documents, reading typing in search keywords in different blogs. Those are the type of people we're looking for in your market area. And that's all RTB. We'll be doing. Rick and I will be doing.
What do you and I call that, Mike? The best grade A lead. That's what we want to do. We want to be in continual search of the highest quality lead that our marketing can create. Mike and I refer to that as a grade A lead. So if we can find a way to get more of those coming back, more of those registering in our website, then that's the name of the game. And today's method, what we talked about today, is yet another method that we can employ for minimal dollars that will keep people coming back to us who found us once already. Very cool.
You know, Rick, we did a couple of webinars on this already in the past year to other industries, and we try to combine remarketing and geo into all the strategies, and we just found it to be too overwhelming for the audience. And to me, just to simplify this, remarketing is probably the easiest thing to understand and the most bang for your buck, because you've already generated the lead.
Right.
For pennies on the dollar, you can get that traffic back to a landing page. How many of those do you need for it to pay off, right?
Right.
So, so we'll be doing another webinar. Rick and I, we do pre-training webinars every month, and our next webinar will be on RTB, and we're going to go through the other 5 strategies that we listed on obtaining third-party data traffic to your site. A little bit more money, but once you got them back, now they're first-party data. Now you can remarket them. Hopefully I said that well, Rick.
I think you did. Thanks for having me, Mike.
No, thanks, Rick. I appreciate it. You're a busy guy. And Amy, unless we don't have any more questions, I think we're done.
Yeah, I think we're good for today. Everyone, I know that there's been a few questions coming through just about the replay, so once our call is over, we're going to go ahead and make sure that we've got that up as soon as possible for you guys, and I'll let you know once that's done.
Perfect. Well, happy marketing, everyone. Again, Rick, thanks for joining us on the call. It's been a great call.
Pleasure,
and Amy for helping us with hosting. Take care, guys, and we look forward to seeing you in the next training call.